There we go. Alright. How's everybody doing today? We're gonna turn it up. Everybody gotta remember that the intro part is mainly for YouTube. Okay? Someone say, hey man, who you be talking to in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is on YouTube. Who do you talk to? I was like, well, I go from TikTok, or live on TikTok, then I move everything over to YouTube. Just keep that in mind. I try to tell everybody that. Alright? Try to tell everybody. But everybody gotta remember that this is how it goes, okay? People don't fully understand that, and then they be saying like, damn. So let me just share this out to everybody. Get it out to the people that matter. I don't know, random people really. I can't even say people that matter when I'm just sending it to random folks. So it is what it is. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna give it a minute or two. Let me know what y'all think. Like I said, this is the Crossface Boys presenting college football. Alright, we'll be going over top 2025. The top 25 for the SEC. You know, it's got ACC and it's got quite a few people in it. We are still having undefeated people. Let's go through the list real quick right now. Let me go to the top 25 real quick. Right now we still got OSU undefeated, Miami's undefeated, Oregon's undefeated, Indiana's undefeated, Ole Miss undefeated, Texas A&M's undefeated, Oklahoma, Missouri's undefeated, Texas Tech's undefeated, Georgia Tech's undefeated, Missouri's undefeated. We got BYU who's undefeated. Memphis is undefeated. Memphis never been in the top 25 before, but they're in the top 25 right now. Margarita, hey. I hope mariachi's good to you. I hope your stomach ain't fucked up like Michael's. North Texas is undefeated still. You got a lot of teams that are still undefeated. And obviously this week is going to be that tiebreaker. Okay, everybody's getting kicked out of the undefeated ranks. Then you'll just have a bunch of people who are, you know what I'm saying, you'll still have some people like obviously OSU is going to win their game. I mean, they're playing against Illinois, so they'll win that one, you know, but it is what it is. That's what we got. We still got college playoff potential on a lot of teams, okay? Keep in mind, Alabama has to lose quite a few more before they're even able to get in, all right? So let's look at the board real quick. If you didn't know, catch me in pink. DC's donating $5 for every picture that we take with a homeowner. So let's flip this camera around and let's look at Alabama's schedule. Okay, right now, hold on, let me get a pen. I'll use a little small pen this time. Okay, I'll use a little small one. Let me know y'all's opinion on it, especially you, Raymond. I want to know your opinion on who you got winning, okay? So right now we got Missouri losing, which will obviously make Alabama win again. I'm pretty sure we're going to beat Tennessee as well, okay? That's going to be a decently hard game, but like I got it here, this is how I have it wrote out for the wins, okay? I think we'll beat Tennessee. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I got us winning Tennessee. Obviously, we're going to beat South Carolina. We're going to beat LSU, no issue. Oklahoma's going to be another team that I'm slightly concerned about. And then we got Eastern Illinois is going to win that one. And then we're going to, I say we're going to beat Auburn. It really just depends on if they beat Georgia. They were playing at Auburn, but that got changed to Atlanta. Okay, that game got changed to Atlanta. It's no longer Georgia versus Auburn at Auburn. Okay, it's Georgia versus Auburn at Atlanta. Not Athens, but at Atlanta. Okay, they're not playing at the Athens field. They're playing at the Mercedes Benz Bowl or Benz Stadium. Okay, so that's something that's got to get thought of. A lot of Auburn fans, we're from Opelika, Auburn area. Me, so a lot of Auburn fans are very pissed that Auburn's not playing at Auburn anymore. They're playing in Georgia, and they're mad as hell about it. Okay, that's going to be a big game this week. If Auburn can pull this game off, I actually have concern for this game. Okay, this is the Alabama-Auburn game. If Auburn wins against Georgia, I have major concern. I believe Auburn's losing that game. Okay, that's just my personal opinion on it. I've said it plenty of times all year long. There's no way Auburn's going to win against Georgia. There's no way physically possible. At least I don't see it happening. All right, on here, we got Texas playing Oklahoma. Okay. Check it out. We got Texas A&M playing Florida. Tennessee's playing Arkansas. South Carolina's playing LSU. Alabama versus Missouri. Ole Miss and Washington State. LSU versus South Carolina. The list continues, okay? It's going to continue on. It's going to be a great week for football. So, let's get into last week. All right, I said it on last week's podcast. All right. If you didn't watch it, go to YouTube. The whole stream's up on YouTube. Crawl Space Boys, same thing is here. All right. We had great picks. All right, we had great picks last week. All right. Won a bunch of money. Okay. If you weren't listening, you need to listen to this week. Okay. This is the week to fall in line. I'm trying to give you a free game. Okay. This right here is free game. Everybody needs to understand that. All right. So last week we had OSU versus Illinois. Oh, my bad. We had OSU versus Minnesota. I told you OSU was going to win that one. That was an obvious giveaway. OSU came in, stomped them 42-3. Okay, put them up 5-0. Oregon had an off week. When Oregon had that off week, they got placed down to number 3. Just like I said was going to happen. But just because Miami was playing. Miami versus Florida State. All right. Told y'all the outcome of that game. Everybody wanted to say Florida State was going to win. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Everybody sleep on Miami Hurricanes, okay? They might have been bad 3-4 years ago, but last year they had a great run. I had them making it to the playoffs, and they went all the way and didn't make the playoffs on that last game. It is what it is. Last week, Miami beat Florida State 28-22. Told y'all to bet on Miami. Y'all didn't listen. You need to listen this week, all right? Ole Miss had an off week. Oklahoma versus Kent State. I told you Oklahoma's going to stomp the hell out of them. So they beat them 44-0. Texas A&M came in and beat Mississippi State 31-9. Penn State came in and lost to UCLA. That was funny. Okay. Penn State had very big favor on that game. No one thought that UCLA was even going to come in and win. And the fact that an 0-4 team came in and beat Penn State was hilarity for charity. Okay. That brought Penn State to 3-2 after their loss to Oregon. So that makes them 2 losing that time. And UCLA is now 1-4. That's probably going to be UCLA's actual only win all year long. But that was a good game to watch. Just the fact that UCLA was even able to hold up against Penn State is crazy to me. Indiana had an off week. Texas, I lost on this one. All right, I'm going to be humble. I try to tell everybody, be humble about your wins and humble about your losses, okay? I lost on the Texas to Florida one. If you lost money, drop some likes. I hate it for you, but I did too, so suck it. That brought Texas 3-2, Florida 2-3. With that being said, Alabama beat Vandy. That was a struggle game. Alabama and Vandy was struggling a little bit. I was a little worried as an Alabama fan because Vandy was coming in and they were running the ball. Man, that little quarterback, that dude got over 60 rushing yards on the first half. You know what I mean? So I was concerned. I was like, man, this dude, we about to fucking lose. And then once the fourth quarter came, that's when I seen that Alabama was going to pick it up. We got 10 points ahead, and I was like, man, there's no way they're coming back just because there's only like 5 minutes left. and they had the ball. I was like, if they score right now, we can still hold the ball and we'll be good, okay? And that's all I seen. As long as we could do what we were doing, we would be fine. And we did that. We came in, held the ball, everything was great. If you like that game, drop some likes, all right? Because I enjoyed watching that game. It was close until it wasn't. Texas Tech beat Houston 35-11. Told y'all that was going to happen. My spread was wrong on it. I gave them 3.5 on that one, but as you see, it was 35-11. So I was wrong on the spread, but I was right on the pick. Georgia came in and lost to won to Kentucky 35-14, keeping Georgia at a 4-1. They were 3-1. They got bumped up to 4-1. LSU had an off week, and Iowa State came in and lost to Cincinnati. I told everybody Cincinnati was going to win. No one wanted to listen, and now look at us. All right, we're in that boat where y'all got to start listening, man. Georgia Tech had an off week as well. So did Tennessee. Missouri had an off week. Michigan versus Wisconsin. Michigan, of course, took the win 24-10, exactly like I said. I even called that points, bro. I called the points out right here. Okay, I called them. I called them out 24-10. Y'all need to check it out, bro. Y'all need to stay active. All right, this is where the boys turn to men. All right, you pay attention and you might get some free game. Notre Dame beat Boise 28-7. Told y'all that was gonna happen. Illinois versus Purdue. Illinois beat Purdue 43-27. BYU versus West Virginia. BYU won 38-24. And then we got Virginia versus Louisville. I lost on that one too. All right, here's what it is. Virginia held their own, made it 30-27 against Louisville. And as you see, I was wrong. But as always, sometimes you're going to be wrong. If I can get 2 out of 25 wrong, then I'm fine with that, okay? Because that still brings me at 23 out of 25 right, okay? And that's what I try to tell everybody. As long as you can get 23 out of 25, or even half and half, really. When it comes to football, as long as you half and half, you're okay. But if I'm getting 23 out of 25 right, then that's what I'm picking, all right? Don't worry, you guys. That's my camera going off. Anyway, let's talk top 25 this week. Okay. We got plenty of pins to write with. Okay. We have plenty of everything to write with. All right. Let me know your tally, especially you, Tinker. Who you got this week? I'm gonna tell you the prediction on it, the spread on it, everything. All right. Let me know. Right now, we got OSU at number 1. They're 5-0, and they are playing Illinois, who's 5-1. Just because I try to tell a lot of people where they're 5-1, they're obviously going to lose. First off, they are obviously going to lose just because it's Illinois versus OSU. With that being said, OSU is favored 82%. Okay, that is a big, big margin. All right, if I was you, I would take the OSU bet. It's negative 14.5 on the spread. So if you're betting on OSU at negative 14.5 on the spread, at 82% favor, I don't like doing spreads, but I will give my points on it. I'm thinking OSU. Someone give me their opinion. What you got, Smith family? What you got for OSU versus Illinois points? 14.5 spread on that one. 82% favored. I'm thinking Illinois is only going to bring in... I'm thinking Illinois is going to get 10 points. And OSU... is going to get 34. So I'm thinking 34-10 on that one. Okay. Miami's got a bye week. All right, they're not playing, so you ain't got to worry about that. With that being said, next week, and I hate it for them, Miami's not going to be number 2 anymore just because they have that off week. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, we got an off week. When you're looking at the top 25 and you're in that off week, you're not going to be at number 2 anymore, okay? Because everybody else is going to win or lose, and you're going to get knocked down. Especially if Oregon comes in and wins. Let's get on that one. Oregon's 5-0 right now versus Indiana, who is also 5-0. Okay, Oregon's favored 69% on that game at 7.5%. I had 7.5 on the spread. I don't think it'll be that. I think it'll be a little bit closer, probably 3.5. All right, so make sure you're watching that game. Oregon will win, but it's not going to be by 7.5. All right, I think we'll win by about 6 points. It's going to be, I think it'll be, realistically, it'll probably be a bit of a high scoring game. I'm not talking 50 and 50, or, 40 something and 40 something. I'm talking like 30. Again, I'll go 31 and 27 on that game. That's my prediction. 31 to 27. Oregon up. Okay. Make sure you lock in some of your bets. Obviously, you don't have to go personal with it. I know Prize Picks, when you go to them games, it's going to give you like, is so-and-so getting more yards, or they getting less yards, or, are they doing this, or are they doing that? I haven't looked at that on Prize Picks yet, just because I typically use Bovada more than I use anything else. So I like Prize Picks just because they got that free weekly, who's gonna score a touchdown first. I'm saying? Everybody love to win $1 million. But we're going to the Ole Miss game. Ole Miss is favored 98% on that with a 32.5 spread. Ole Miss is 5-0. Washington State is 3-2. Obviously, Ole Miss is going to win that game. It's favored 98%. Even if it wasn't favored, I can still tell you Ole Miss is going to win that game. Okay? If I didn't know a spread or a favorite percentage, I'm still telling you that Ole Miss is going to win. That's going to be a very high game. I'm not even going to give you points on it because it's probably going to be like 58-3. All right, it's going to be a very high winning game. If you agree with me, drop some likes. Just because I get it, man. If you think that Washington State's going to beat Ole Miss, you bugging. If you think that, send me a comment. You can comment on here, whatever. I don't care. I'm more than willing to bet with you on it, but don't sit here and poo shiesty me later on and not send my money whenever I win. Then we got Texas A&M versus Florida. Texas A&M is 5-0. Florida's 2-3. Texas A&M is favored to win 73% at 7.5 on the spread. All right. Keep in mind, when you do these games, you have to know what you're talking about. All right. 7.5 on that spread is a little bit difficult, especially if your spread involves points. Because you could be doing a spread and your points just not working in your favor. You know what I'm saying? It's not. And a lot of people that do spreads don't do the half. I don't know why we're doing spreads but not doing halves on the spread. All right, that makes 0 sense to me at all. I don't agree with it. It makes 0 sense. But on that game, Texas versus Florida at 73%, I don't think it'll be high scoring. Okay, I don't see that game being high scoring at all. I'm thinking probably 27-10. Let's lock that in real quick. 27-10 on Texas A&M. Okay, then we got Oklahoma versus Texas. Like I said earlier, Oklahoma's 5-0. Texas is 3-2. But what's y'all bet on that one? Because I got Texas right now favored 60% and -1.5. All right. I believe Texas will pull this one off. I think if Oklahoma really wants it to stay at that 5-0 or to stay at that undefeated, going 6-0 on that one, I think Texas is gonna have to pull something out their ass and make it work. Trace, if you believe with me, drop some comments, man, because I need some help on that game. Oklahoma definitely gonna have to fight for their life on that one, just so they can stay at 6-0. That's my opinion. Okay, personally, that's my opinion. Is that 6-0? All right, but I do believe they'll win. I believe Texas is gonna pull that one. Again, I don't see it being a very high scoring game. Let's see the bet on it. Let's see what we're gonna bet, just because I'm not real sure on that one. All right. Come on, give me some opinions. I need some opinions. I'm thinking Texas. is going to do 38. And Oklahoma's going to probably do, I don't know, 30, 31. All right. That's what I got. 38-31. Texas winning. Indiana versus Oregon. Both teams are 5-0. We've already done this one. I said 31-27. Oregon's favored. So again, I'm going to do it, since it's backwards, I'm going to do 27-31. Oregon up. Okay, Oregon is winning that game. I don't care what no one says. Now let's get to the itty bitty, the little bitty titty committee. All right, we got Alabama 4-1 versus Missouri 5-0. Again, just because that team is undefeated, don't mean Alabama won't come in and win. Missouri's gonna really have to try. They're gonna really have to try their best to come in and beat Alabama, even though they're 5-0 undefeated. You versus an Alabama who's 4-1. Ever since Alabama lost that first game, they've been coming in very hot, very ecstatic on every game, and they're pulling it off. Okay, that's what everybody has to understand when it comes to college football and Alabama especially. I mean, it's called the Alabama Invitation, the playoffs. Okay, so you got Alabama favored 63% at a -3.5. I believe that. All right, I fully believe that. I think it'll be 41-34. All right, that's my bet on it. Okay, Alabama up. The easy safe bets is only doing points. Okay, if you're betting with somebody and they're like, "Oh man, I think Missouri's gonna win. It's gonna be 17-14." All right, that's cool. If they get that bet, they pay. Same thing with me, 41-34. If I get that, I pay. If those teams don't hit them numbers, it don't matter. All right, no one lost a bet, no one won the bet. You might have won that Missouri won, or you might have won that Alabama won, but you didn't win that number bet. So that's the safest way to bet. It's just like winning the lottery. I try to tell everybody, just try your best to be safe with it. All right, don't come in throwing some random numbers out and then get mad whenever you're sitting there looking crazy. All right, so number 9, we're at Texas Tech, who's 5-0 versus Kansas. It is at Texas Tech. Okay, I believe Texas Tech's gonna win. It's favored 74, -14.5. So they're at Texas Tech. It's already not a scary field. They're not ranked for like the scariest field, obviously. But because it's at Texas Tech and Kansas is going to be coming down, I think they're going to have issues. I don't think that was going to be a high scoring one either. Okay, I think it'll be realistically. I'm thinking 24-10 on that one. Texas Tech up. All right, Mark, what I say? 24-10. You heard it here first, Corey. 24-10. Drop some likes. Then we got Georgia versus Auburn. Georgia's favored 64% and -3.5. I think Auburn's going to win this game. Okay. Auburn had the game at Auburn, Jordan-Hare Stadium, but I don't know what happened. They took it off from Auburn, and now they're playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're not playing, this is what you got to understand, just because it's in Georgia doesn't mean it's in Athens. Okay, this game is not being played in Athens. This game is getting played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think Auburn is going to be pissed about it, and they're going to come in and take the W. That's my personal opinion on it. If you don't like it, bet against me. All right, bet on it. If you think Auburn is losing this game, DM me, comment on here, sue me your cash up. I don't care. Auburn's winning this game. All right, they're way too riled up that they're not playing at Auburn anymore. So go ahead and think it. All right, and I give this game, this free game. Okay, this free game. All right, if you think you got it, you got it. Whatever. I believe Auburn winning. I didn't have a points on this yet. It is -3.5 to Georgia. But that changes everything with Auburn, with me thinking Auburn's going to win. So, if you believe that Georgia's winning, go ahead and comment, because I don't think Georgia's got it. I don't. My points on that one. Yay. Thinking 28-17, Auburn up. 28-17. All right. Then we got at number 11 LSU versus SC. I think LSU's gonna win it. They're favored 73% at -9.5. All right, I fully get that. LSU will win. I think it's gonna be a blowout though. I don't think it's gonna be -9.5. I wouldn't bet a spread on that game. I'm thinking probably 41-14. Then we got Tennessee versus Arkansas. Tennessee's favorite 82%, -11.5. Again, I don't believe that spread. I think it's going to be more of a blowout. I'm thinking Arkansas is only going to get 10. And Tennessee's probably going to get... Tennessee's probably going to get 31. Okay, Georgia Tech versus Virginia Tech. I love when the Tech teams play, just because that's a good game. Georgia Tech is 5-0. Virginia Tech's 2-4. Georgia Tech's favorite 74% with a -14.5 spread. All right, all of this stuff has to get looked at. Okay, I mean we talking big ticket items here. Georgia Tech been holding on. They've been playing really well. I honestly think Georgia Tech has potential to make it in the playoffs. All right. They got great potential to make it in playoffs. I think it's going to come down to the wire on a lot of these teams. All right. That's the big thing with everything that's going on in college football is so many people are coming in and they're all going to come down to the wire, especially when it comes to Miami. Oregon's getting in. Ole Miss got potential. Texas A&M's got potential. Oklahoma's got potential. They always do. OSU's got plenty of potential. Missouri has potential, even though I think they're losing Alabama this week. You got a lot of teams. BYU's a no-name team, and they have plenty of potential to make it in playoffs. All right? Anyway, back to Georgia Tech versus Virginia Tech. Their favorite 79%, -14.5. I do believe Georgia Tech will win that game. I don't have a points on it. But if I had to give points, just like I've given any other team, let me go ahead and get my points right there too. I think it's going to be crazy blowout on that one. On that one, bro, we talking. I'm talking 49-31. Georgia Tech up on Virginia Tech. Okay, 49-31. If you don't agree with it, drop a comment. Let me know. Then we already went over Missouri versus Alabama. I said Alabama was winning 41-34. All right, Michigan versus USC. It's at USC, which is why I think they're favored more. They're both 4-1, but because it's at USC, Michigan's thinking on losing. I do believe that. That's probably going to be a close game, and I don't think it's going to be high scoring either. I'm thinking 31 USC to Michigan's 24. Okay, USC up 31-24. If you don't like it, I don't care. Go somewhere else. All right. But that's my personal opinion, man. When you watch football as in depth as I do, and you got people that are watching, especially on the YouTube, people want to see the board. They want to see your list, okay? They want to see what you got, because they value that opinion. They want to see them points. They want to see Notre Dame versus, NC State. Notre Dame's 3-2. NC State's 4-2. It's at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's favored 92%. All right, we're talking a 23.5 spread. Okay, that's going to be a blowout, in my opinion. But I don't think when I say blowout, I don't mean like 21-0. I mean we're talking like probably 49 points. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking 54 54 Notre Dame. 54 Notre Dame to 21 NC State. Illinois versus OSU is 5-1. Illinois is 5-0 OSU. We've already went over this game. We'll do it again. It's 34-10 in my opinion. OSU winning. Okay, it's at Illinois. I don't care. All right. These are things that you got to get on board with. All right. This whole thing. Like I said, man, this is. Who is Joshua Ignitus? YouTube? I don't even know. Anyway, we got BYU versus Arizona. BYU's 5-0. They're playing at Arizona 4-1. Right now, it's favored 69% with -1.5. Okay, let me tell you something about that. That's why this is a tricky game. They did 1.5 on the spread strictly because they're at Arizona. Okay, that tells me that that's going to be a hard game to play on. I think, and I'm going to say I got Arizona. I got Arizona putting up 31 to BYU's 21. Okay. Arizona's winning 31-21, in my opinion. Virginia and Vanderbilt both got a good. They're off weeks this week. I'm afraid, though, that that's going to knock Vandy and Virginia out of the top 25. If not out, they'll get dropped off significantly. Okay, we're talking big numbers here. All right, so ASU's play in Utah. 41%, 4-1 on both teams. They're both 4-1. Utah's favored 69%. And it's favored -5.5 on the spread. Which is crazy because BYU is favored 69% at -1.5. All right, so like I said earlier, just because it's that percentage doesn't mean the spread is going to be there. So -5%. I'm thinking ASU's winning that one. I don't like Utah. I don't. I hate Utah. I ain't never liked them. I don't even know why. I think it's because I'm a Boise State fan too. So, and that's something everybody's got to know. I'm an Alabama fan, yes, but I'm an SEC overall. Okay, but when you like SEC like I do, you got to have a team outside of SEC that you go to, which is why I like Miami. I like Boise State. I like seeing other teams win too. It's not just I don't like Colorado though. But I got ASU winning that. I'm thinking it's going to be relatively close in my opinion. So get over it. It's still going to be a high point game. Thinking 28 ASU to 24. 28-24 ASU up. That's my bet on it. All right. If you agree with me, lock it in. I'm just saying that is what I believe the score is going to be. Okay. You can give your opinions all you want. All right. It is what it is, but that's what I feel. And you got ISU versus Colorado. It's at Colorado. Favored 63% towards Iowa at a -2.5. That's a hard game to bet on. I do got Iowa though. I don't believe Colorado's going to pull it off. I think Colorado's going to be 2-5. And if they're anything like Auburn, they're going to end up saying they need to fire Prime just because he's not doing that great. All right, let's be real. Prime has been taking L's all year long. He just got back from, fighting for his life, okay? Which is why I don't think they're going to fire him, okay? It's hard to try to fire somebody, especially whenever they're going through what they're going through. But I do believe they're going to have big issues, all right? They always have issues, okay? That's what everybody's got to understand. You're going to have issues when it comes to playing. I was going to win, though. That was going to be a hard game. If I had to bet on it, I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I'm thinking Colorado's getting 17 to Iowa State's 21. Okay, Iowa's winning 21-17. That's what I believe. Okay, I solely believe that. If you think Iowa State's losing, let me know. Cause I like to get your input. I'd like to see what you're thinking. If Colorado is gonna be if the Buffaloes are beating Iowa State, let me know. And I don't agree. I don't agree they're not. Memphis is playing UAB at UAB. So if you live in Birmingham, this is the time to get you a good game in. Memphis, who I've never in my life ever seen in the top 25, is in the top 25 this year. So it's a weird year, man. The NIL paying money and these kids are playing good. All right. Memphis is 6-0 right now. UAB is 2-3. Hopefully they'll be 3-3 after this. Hopefully Memphis ain't gonna knock them out too bad. Memphis is favored 95%. There wasn't even a spread on this one. I'm thinking the spread is probably 23.5. But I'm gonna stick with UAB. Okay. I think I'm gonna stick with UAB. All right. Even though they're favored 95% to lose, I'm still sticking with UAB. And we're gonna go points on that one. And if someone wants to bet, I'll bet. I'll do a small bet though. Don't hit me with no $100 bet. But I see UAB winning that one 27-21. All right, 28-21. All right, that's my bet on that one. 28-21, UAB winning. It's at home. UAB did it a couple years back where they came in and they beat a really hard team. I can't remember who it was, but it was at home, and I see Memphis losing that one. I don't care if they're favored 93%. USF is supposed to be playing North Texas. North Texas is favored to win 53% and -1.5 on the spread. It's at North Texas. So they could win. They very well could win that game. All right. I'll even go as far as saying they will win. Okay. I'm thinking 31-28. I think North Texas is winning 31-28. All right. That's what I think. Okay. Then we got FSU versus Pitt. Okay. It's 3-2 on both teams. They're both 3-2 right now. FSU is favored to win 77. I don't think that it is going to be a -10.5 spread. I do got FSU right now, but I don't think they're gonna. And Pitt, I think Pitt's only not favored so much just because they lost to UCLA. I think when they lost against Oregon, they got out of their head and got out of their game plan, and they went in and played UCLA thinking it's gonna be a blowout, and UCLA came in and stomped their ass, and they just didn't know what to do. All right, that's my personal opinion on it. And when it comes to having that headspace, Alabama did the same thing. We came in at the beginning of the year, it's FSU, we're gonna beat their ass and everything will be great. And then FSU dragged us all game. They grabbed us by our donkey tail and just pulled us right along with them. It was like, you're gonna fucking laugh when we win. And that's just how it was. So I think I got Pitt on that one. I got Pitt winning. Yeah, I got Pitt winning 21-10. All right, that's what I got. Pitt should be winning that one. Like I said, Notre Dame is favored, so we're going Notre Dame on that one. USC's favored Michigan, so I'm going USC. 31-24. Alabama's favored, obviously, so I'm going Alabama 41-34. Georgia Tech's favored over Virginia, so I'm going Georgia Tech. I obviously got Tennessee winning, and I say that as an Alabama fan. Please stop the hate thinking that I don't like Alabama. I mean, I don't like any other team other than Alabama. Yeah, LSU's winning that one too. Okay. Texas is winning. We're just going over all the points again, making sure everybody's got the points how they got it. Corey, what's your opinion on the Indiana versus Oregon game? I had a little bit of trouble with that one. I don't know if I could get it exactly how I want. I also got another game. Obviously Ole Miss is gonna win, but I need a point spread. Okay, on Ole Miss versus WSU, which is Washington State. Give me a point spread on it because I can't come up with a point spread. All right. Oregon is favored, so we're doing Oregon there. And I still got A&M. Yeah, I don't have a point spread for damn. No, that wouldn't no. Who was it that I didn't have a point spread on? Yeah, it was OSU. All right, what's your point spread on that game though? Because that's what I don't have. I don't have the point spread like I need. But right now, I'm thinking negative 32.5 to Ole Miss. I think it's gonna be an insane blowout. Okay, I just don't know what the points is gonna be. What up, Chucky? How we doing? You ain't 10 shades of lit, are you? Or you got work in the morning? I'm thinking it's gonna be a crazy blowout, man. Like 56 to fucking 10. $56 to 10, Ole Miss up. And that's my spread right there. Okay? I got the 56 to 10 Ole Miss up. And that's just my personal opinion on it. If you agree. You ain't even Irish. Are you Irish? You ain't Irish. I figure you more like, if I had to guess your ethnicity, I think you're more like, damn, you are Irish. I don't know, man. For some reason, if I had to guess, I think more like Sicilian a little bit, maybe a slight bit of Italian. I'm Irish, okay? Never they tell me I'm German and Irish, more Scottish. I could see that. I could see that. See, I think that's why I went with the Sicilian. You know, you got the little Italian, you got that Scottish vibe. You know, which I guess Scottish people be drinking too. I don't know. Props to you. Props to you. I can't do it. I wish I could. Wish I could join you, but for now I'm gonna just cheers to the Dr Pepper. I shouldn't be drinking them, but fuck it. I'm gonna do what I want to do, kinda. It is what it is. But that's who we got. That's who we got. You know what I mean? That's the board this week. Damn. I got all these little bitty pieces of paper up here. But that's the board. Hopefully we got some good outcomes. If you ain't seen it, avoid my handwriting. Okay, it ain't the best. Okay, I do heating and air. I don't care what you say. I do heating and air. So that's what I got. All right, that's my board. Okay, if you got any bets, by all means, send them my way. If you think someone got Memphis over UAB, let me know. Okay, and this is predominantly for the YouTube people. Okay, if you got Memphis over Miami, over UAB, I'd like to take your bet because it's at UAB, and I think UAB is winning that game. That's just personal opinion, okay? Try to tell everybody that. It is what it is. This the big money leagues right here. All right, we in the sixth game for some people. Okay, some people already got their sixth game. Like Illinois has already played their sixth game. So some of them are playing their seventh game, and some of them are in the sixth game. I mean, we're in week 7 though. Okay, right there. Where's it at? It's like one of these columns. We're in week 7 of college football. All right. I try to tell everybody. Okay, this week 7 right here, if I'm correct. So look, we're in week 7 of college football. All right. Like I said earlier, Auburn is mad as hell at these Georgia people because they got to play in Atlanta, and they mad about it. They mad. But like I said earlier, right now, currently, top right is going to be who we got betting. Let me get the pen. Top right is going to be who we got winning, and who we got betting, okay? I already said it. We're going to go back to the board. Back to the paper. All right, we'll write it down. Okay. On Texas. Where they at? I already got no, wait, I said Oklahoma. I said Oklahoma winning that game, didn't I? Yeah, right here we got Oklahoma winning, okay? Oklahoma winning. The top right is wins, top left is loss. Okay, we're picking Oklahoma. It's at Dallas. Alright. You gotta keep in mind this shit ain't for the bird, baby. This ain't for the bird. Alright, we trying to get good money wins. We got Texas A&M winning. So we're gonna go right here. Texas A&M winning, baby. They winning that one. We got Tennessee versus Arkansas. I got Tennessee winning that one. And that's just because I like Tennessee this year. Okay? Tennessee got plenty of time to make it in the big leagues. Alright? South Carolina versus LSU. I already wrote it down. LSU's winning that one, 41-14. So we got LSU winning. Oh, no, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me mark that out. LSU's winning. We'll go ahead and come up to them. LSU's winning. All right. Check it out. This is what we got. Okay. Listen, man. When it comes to the board, all right, ain't no one else's board. It might be chicken scratch to some of y'all, but ain't no one else's board like mine. Okay. This is what you want when you're trying to bet the monies. All right, when you're sitting there and you're wondering, damn, bro, why am I losing money? It's because you're not listening to the Crossbase Boys. All right, the Crossbase Boys is giving you free game, and you got to use the free game, like I've said. Okay, free game. All right, this free game. If you want the bet, take the bet. All right, look at that cut, bro. I cut this shit out my thumb earlier. That shit hurt like hell. I still got dirt in my damn fingernail. I've been grinding all damn day. Alabama winning against Missouri. Washington State is losing against Ole Miss. South Carolina is winning. Texas A&M is winning. Georgia, I got Georgia losing. Tennessee is winning. Missouri is losing. Okay? But like I said, bro, this is the spread. All right, when it comes to college football and you want to bet money, this is who you got. So, now that we got the spread in play, we got the spread already up. Who do we got going to playoffs? Okay, if you think you got it in playoffs this week, who do you have? Okay, and this is what I'm trying to tell everybody. All right, especially people on YouTube, whenever they watch the video tomorrow morning, when it comes to these bets and everybody doing what they're doing, we have college football on the top 25. We've already said who is in what. Okay, oh shit. That's almost not done touchdown. But when it comes to that, and we're looking at who's going to be in the playoffs. All right, it's a 14 playoff this year. Unless they change it and I ain't know about it. But let's talk conferences. SEC. Who do you have going? Howie. Who? I gotta be saying that wrong. It's Howie, right? Who do you got going to your SEC playoff? Who is your team from the SEC that's going? Because right now I got Alabama. Because I think Auburn's going to beat Georgia, making them 3-2. Auburn's already got too many losses to go into the playoffs currently. Unless everybody just ends up taking 2 losses and then we're all sitting here with dicks in our hands like we don't know what to do. But who do you got going? Because right now I got Alabama going. LSU's not making it in because I believe South Carolina is going to come in and hurt LSU's feelings this weekend. No, I don't. My bad. Not this weekend. 2 weekends away, LSU's taking a loss because we're going to beat LSU, making them, you know what I'm saying, they're going to take another loss. But when it comes to these games, SEC-wise, I think Alabama will be the people to go to the playoffs for Alabama, for the SEC. ACC, I got Miami. Okay? I got Miami and for the ACC. I think OSU is gonna get in the playoffs. I think it's gonna be Miami, OSU, Alabama, and probably BYU. Okay, I think Miami, BYU, OSU, and Alabama are gonna be in the playoffs this year. I'm gonna go ahead and write it down. Somewhere. I'll write it right here. As of October 8th, I got Miami, BYU, Alabama, and OSU in the playoffs. All right, and that's what I got, man. Okay, hate it if you hate it, but that's who I'm picking in the playoffs this year. Oh, fuck. Oh, that hurt my throat. But that's who I got, okay? You can hate it if you want to. But ain't no, you know what I'm saying? You ain't giving me your opinion. If you think someone else is getting in the playoffs, Georgia Tech's got potential. They've been doing all right. Hell, Vanderbilt's got potential. Their running back is phenomenal. Vanderbilt's got a phenomenal running back this year. Okay, they're just not getting the numbers in like I think they're gonna get in. I don't see it happening. Okay. Let's see. Illinois could get in, but or not Illinois, but Iowa State could get in. I think Iowa State's got good potential. I really do. They're playing. I just seen it a minute ago. Hold on. What the fuck? Yeah, Iowa State's got plenty of potential. They're 4-1 right now, and they're favored to win against SC. So I mean, I fully believe Iowa State could get in too. They're just gonna have to show that they're worth it. Texas Tech's another team that could get in, but right now they ain't really played no very hard teams. I said what I said. I don't care. These are all, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are all teams that are going to have to get looked at, okay? Especially when it comes to college football. You got Michigan who's versing USC. USC's doing great, but like I said earlier, man, that's going to be a hard team. And I do got USC winning 31-24, but when it comes to getting into the playoffs, that's where we have issues. Sean, who do you got in the playoffs right now? Because I think Miami, BYU, and Alabama and OSU are going to be in. That's who I got. And OSU's doing great this year. They always are. They're always up there in the rankings. They're kind of just like Oklahoma is. Oklahoma's always up there in the rankings. Okay. When you see the last 5-6 years for drafts, okay, OSU and Oklahoma's always up there. I mean, it's always up there. I don't see Auburn getting in. I do see Auburn winning this week against Georgia. And that's solely because now if it was at Auburn, I think Georgia would lose. I don't know who Mark Stoops is. Who's Mark Stoops? I'm cousin with Mark Stoops. I mean, I'd love to talk to you too. Send me a DM, I guess. I don't know who Mark Stoops is though. Kentucky coach. Oh, man, that's cool. That's great. That's great. I'm fully for it. Okay, Kentucky. Who are they playing? I don't see Kentucky on my board right here. No, I'm more than willing to talk to you, man. Go ahead, DM me. You know, I'd be more than willing to talk to you. I'd appreciate the conversation. I have about 4 more minutes on this live and I'm gonna have to jump off. But I'll be able to respond back to you. But I just seen Kentucky. Where were they at? Didn't Kentucky just play hold on. Yeah, Georgia just played Kentucky last week. That's right. Yep. Georgia won 35-14. That was a good game, though. Kentucky really did hold their own on that one. Well, y'all got whooped, but I wouldn't say y'all got whooped. I mean, y'all ain't too bad. I mean, you're 2-3 right now. So yeah, I mean, you're 2-3 right now, which I mean, it's better than UCLA. You know, I mean, you got to be humble. You know, that's the biggest thing with it, especially when it comes to Kentucky and who they're playing. See, Kentucky's got that weird schedule where they're going to be playing a lot of hard teams until the end of the season. You know, the beginning of their season, it's kind of like Auburn is at the beginning of their season. They play a bunch of really easy teams, and then they got a bunch of hard teams, you know. So it's kind of like back when I was in school. You know, you could either slack off in the beginning of the year and then try really hard at the end of the year and hopefully pass, or you could try really hard in the beginning of the year, that way at the end of the year, you got a little bit of time to slack, you know. So I think y'all are doing good for what you have. You're 2-3 right now, and you kind of held your own against Kentucky, just like, you know, a lot of people thought that we would lose. I mean, that Vanderbilt would beat Alabama, and I mean, if you look at the score on Alabama versus Vanderbilt last week, it was 30-14, you know. Alabama held their own. I mean, Vanderbilt held their own. See how I like Auburn? I live in Opelika, which is right beside Auburn. And the problem with that is I'm an Alabama fan, so everybody's like, gross. But you wish Vandy won. I hear you, you know. Their quarterback really surprised me. I was on edge that whole game. I mean, their quarterback in the first half got 60 yards, okay? 60 yards rushing. So I'm sitting here like, bro, we finna get stomped by a quarterback. A quarterback alone. I felt like I was watching Cam Newton again. You know, and I'm just, you know, I'm like, great, dude. As an Alabama fan, this is my worst nightmare. You know, I love seeing quarterbacks do great. Of course, man, let's stay in touch. You know, I'm more than happy to. You know, I'm glad to have you come in. I'm glad to have you stop by. I do hope Auburn beats Georgia this week, though. Personally, I think they will. I think, like I said, I think they're very mad that they were supposed to be in Auburn, but instead of being in Auburn, SEC changed it to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I think Georgia's mad. I mean, Auburn is pissed about it. So I think that's going to make it where Auburn comes in and plays for their best game. I think Auburn's going to come in and give their absolute best game against Georgia in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and they're going to take the win. Like I said on here, where's it at? I think Auburn's winning 28-17 in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's my personal opinion on it, okay? I fully believe that Auburn's going to take the win on that one, and you know, a lot of people ain't going to agree with it, but I will agree with it, okay? If you could come in and beat Georgia at Mercedes-Benz, and just because it's in Georgia does not mean it's at Georgia Stadium. Georgia Stadium's in Athens, okay? You're not playing at you know, Georgia Stadium. You're playing at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So if the national championship's in Georgia, it's going to be at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So I mean, think of it as a plus. You know, you're not playing at Jordan Hare, which sucks, and you're not playing at Athens, so you don't have that like extra heat, that extra competition. Okay. All right. I just hope that Auburn can come in and pull off a really good game, and I hope that Auburn can get that win. As an Alabama fan, I hope Auburn can beat Georgia, and I hope Auburn's mad enough to go in there and say, "Hey, look, y'all are messed up for giving this game to Georgia," you know, and I really do hope they come in and take the win on that one. Okay, but that's all I got for this week. Okay, if you're betting, that's my board right here. Take a screenshot if you will, whatever it may be. Put your bets in. Okay, that's the bets that I have this week. All right, it's been much love to everybody. Love y'all until next week, especially y'all on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by.